In Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, the eightfold path is called Ashtanga, which literally means 8 limbs. Ashtang is 8, Ang is limb. These 8 steps basically act as guidelines on how to live a meaningful and purposeful life. Remember, they build upon one another. You cannot pursue pratyahara or dhyana before practicing asana or pranayam. The same way you cannot practice asana and pranayam without any knowledge of yams and niyams. Now we are left with pratyahara, dharana, dhyana and samadhi. These are the last 4 limbs of Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. So let's start by understanding what pratyahara means. This 5th limb essentially means sensory withdrawal from the outer world and therefore drawing it inwards. Pratyahara comes from 2 Sanskrit words. Prati means against or away, and ahar, which means food. In this case, we can refer to ahar as any stimuli we take in and ingest. In fact, the first thing you'll be asked to do when you go to your first yoga class is to focus on your breath. It all starts with that, being aware, being mindful of your breath. As you deepen your yoga practice by becoming more aware of your breathing, you will realize that you will become more calm and happy. Stress and worry will be the thing of the past. Now think of pratyahara as a bridge between the first 4 limbs, which deals with the outer world, and the remaining 3 limbs, which deals with your inner world, that is dharana, dhyana and samadhi. Let's discuss the practical aspect of pratyahara. So you need to start by filtering and limiting your external stimuli by limiting the news you watch. News is mostly negative. The 24 news channel are for-profit enterprise and TRPs are super important for them. So in most cases, they will show stories which deals in violence, hate and murder. The same thing can be said about the newspaper. They're good apps where you can get your news and decide what you want to read or listen and what should be filtered. I haven't read a newspaper or seen news for over 5 years now. My wife updates me on the latest affair. Many people have called me naive and don't agree to my point of view. They tell me, Akash, you're avoiding reality. You need to know what is going on around the world. You are living in a bubble, fantasy of your own. Reality, the world is cruel, harsh and violent. Hey pal, I know the world is like that. I've lived in 3 continents long enough to understand how the world works and the negatives in it. But my question is, why do you want to read, listen and know about these stories every day of your life and then feel bad about it? Recall a time when you heard a story on a rape or a murder in the morning news and which stayed with you almost the whole day. And because of that, it affected you in a way that you weren't able to give your work 100%. And how does you feeling bad about the victim change his or her circumstances? What is the point of feeling bad when you directly are not able to affect the outcome of what you watch on news? Instead, by maintaining your peace of mind, filling your mind with positive things only, you become super productive and potentially more successful. And eventually, when you give back to the society, that, my dear student, is the real deal. Anyways, this is a matter of personal opinion, so I leave it to that. So we have 5 senses and we need to start by filtering of what goes in with those senses. So first is sight. You need to filter the negative news, or at least limit it. Read positive content, including great spiritual books and blogs, etc. Hearing. Listening to great music. Encourage your friends and family to stay on positive talks and negate or absolutely limit the gossips. Touch. Be connected to Mother Earth by soaking in the sun for the much needed vitamin D. Walk barefoot on the grass or the beach. Hug your children, wife, siblings and parents. Taste. Eat real food that does not come in a wrapper or a box. Eat organic food and minimize the junk or fast food. Smell. Keep your house and surroundings clean. Use natural incense if needed be. So that was pratyahara, and now let's discuss dharana. Dharana is a Sanskrit word which means concentration. Now we have crossed the bridge of Pratyahar from the outer world into the inner world. The practice of dharana involves fixing a mind on a particular object, like a statue of God or beads, any object, literally. This object now becomes the focal point and rest of the mental chatter starts to dry down. One can also practice dharana with the help of mantras or even a word like Om. With practice of dharana, you will realize that you are able to better focus on your task better. The next is dhyana. The word dhyana comes from the Sanskrit word dhyai, which means to think of. Dhyana involves concentration and meditation on a point of focus with the intention of knowing the truth about it. This seventh stage of meditation is a very deep state of meditation which comes only after years of practice of the first 6 limbs. The state of dhyana is also called Atma Darshan. Atma means spirit, Darshan means visit. When you enter this stage, you see the divine you, your higher self. You separate illusion from what really is. In fact, you can accidentally enter into this stage through life's unique experiences. Imagine a time when you met your school friend after very long and over a cup of coffee or perhaps few cups of coffee, you reminiscent about your school time and suddenly you realize that 3 hours have passed. Perhaps the project you are doing currently is so creatively challenging for you and you enjoy it so much. Whenever you immerse yourself in it, time simply flies by. This is the state of dhyana. And lastly, samadhi is the last 8th limb of Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga and is the deepest stage of concentration. The word samadhi literally means putting together and is often translated as integration or absorption. Everything is energy. If you and the object you focus on become one, that is, vibrate at the same frequency, then that is samadhi. You and the object are one. As opposed to in previous stages of meditation like dharana and dhyana, you are still aware of you as a separate being with the object. But in samadhi, which is a complete state of integration and absorption, you're one with the object. I would like to finish this module with a short story. A student once asked his master, who was a renowned yogi, that how long it will take him to reach the stage of samadhi. To which the master yogi said 5 years. The student then replied, "What if I work harder?" The master with a smile said, 10 years. The confused student finally said with a lot of grit and determination, "I'm willing to work 3 times harder." Finally, the master said, 15 years. The poor puzzled student then finally gave up and requested the lesson that the master yogi wants to teach the student. Master Yogi gave his valuable advice. He said, "Dear student, if you have one eye on the destination and that you're anxious to attain in the shortest time possible, then you're working with one hand tied behind your back. You will not be able to focus and concentrate on your work with full dedication." I 100% agree with Master Yogi's answer. I'm not against goals. Goals are important, they give us direction, but having anxiety about it, stressing about it most of the time, pulls a lot of energy from our present, which instead we should be devoting to doing the work by being fully present in the moment. It's about the journey and not about the destination. Namaste.